It's one of my greatest honors to have Dr. Ikechi here, like-minded people into agriculture sector. He has been working years and years into that.
Hello and welcome to Obehi Podcast. I'm your host, Obehi A14, and I strongly believe that everyone has a story to share. Now let's get started into this episode.
I'm currently pursuing Global Challenges degree at Africa Leadership University, Rwanda. And I chose Dr. Ikechi as my mentor because I know that he's not only my mentor, he's my dad. He gave me a lot of advices in order to grow professionally and academically. And I do believe that he's a pillar into my life, because I know what I'm talking about, and I'm speaking now only because I know how impactful he has been, making into my life in order to strive forward. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mohammed. It's a privilege. Yeah, my name is Dr. Ikechi Agbugba, and I am an agroeconomist by training. But I majored in marketing and business and agribusiness management in my master's and PhD. And of course, with time, I began to also explore the areas of entrepreneurship development, food security, among others. And I have wide experiences as researcher and development officer. And also a visiting professor at the Rome Business School, a senior lecturer at the River State University, and also an adjunct professor with the Kavala International University, where we train students of agribusiness management for, building their capacity and also acquiring a PhD degree virtually. In an online accelerated American accredited university. And I earned a postdoc research fellowship experience at the University of Fort Hare and Agricultural Research Council. It was a collaborative project between the two organizations. And it was on smallholder development. And it was coordinated by Professor Obi, who has been a good mentor to me from at the point of my graduation, my PhD graduation. And I also feature. I have featured as consultant in the United Nations project under the International Organization for Migration, Connecting Diaspora for Development project, which was spearheaded in The Hague in the Netherlands. And the first project was at the Food Crop Production Technology Transfer Station, and the second was at the National Horticultural Research Institute, all in Nigeria. And I'm also an advocate for the EU Tech. Yes, and I participate in different work streams as expert advocate member of the organization. And recently I was nominated as board member of the Food Farming and Fisheries Alliance Committee by EU Tech. And of course, we focus on possible and easy solutions on how to deploy business ideas as well as relevant technology to targeted African communities and developing interregional technology cooperation between Europe and Africa. Yeah, so, and yes, it's true that I am, I play senior advisory roles to a lot of international networking volunteer organizations like the African Youth Diaspora Organization, the African Continental Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and of course also I'm a senior advisor to Chief Executive of the Maxwell Investment Group, an international profit for purpose investment firm, operator, and trader. And also, interestingly, in the Zambia, I am their senior, the Agri-N Initiative senior advisor, and also even the NutriCare Malawi. I am their technical advisor, and I work a lot with institutions across Africa, institutions, especially universities. A German lady, Dr. Beatrice Bishop, and myself, we developed a PETS foreign policy ecosystem, which helps to encourage African farmers. Why am I using that word encourage? It's, because African farmers are bedeviled with a lot of, issues, which of course that has given them the opportunity to acquire knowledge of, the new technology solutions on how to scale up their businesses or to drive efficiency and drive their agri-businesses at the level that they are. So last year I received an award from the Global Council on Promotion of International Trade, and it was a Global Mentor of Change. I received the award and also Global Emerging Leader Award because of my works in the academia, in the research, and in the international space. So I was very amazed when I received a letter. I received promotion of my profile online for the change which I am driving within the space of agriculture and among youths. And interestingly, I have started gradually to unveil the brain re-engineering concepts and reimagination, which is a strategy for entrepreneurship development and youth engagement in a sunken economy. And we know that a sunken economy, many economies are getting regressed, are facing recession, facing regression, facing challenges. Yeah, so that's the whole idea of the concept that I am the advocate of, to rebrand agriculture and make agriculture more appealing. Tell them that the agriculture sector has become very important, has become very instrumental in creating jobs, driving transformation in diverse ways. And of course, we have also seen that playing out as they supply raw materials for a lot of industries, and also helping to promote trade. Trade within Africa, being spearheaded by the Free Trade Area Agreement of the African Union, and also trade in the world, internationally outside of Africa, which is spearheaded by the World Trade Organization. And now, so this, and I am a youth mentor. I try always to give youths hope, irrespective of the challenges and the bottlenecks which their economies or their society have presented them with. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ikechi. And it seems that you have a big fish to fry, which is very, very impactful and insightful for African youth to have mentors in order to move forward. Because most African youth, they are talented, but at some point, in order to move forward, you need some mentors in order to guide you through different challenges, through different difficulties, or through different, plight that you are going to be facing throughout your journey. It's very important to have those mentors. And as you know, we have been talking month and months, every day regularly. I try to push you up, that I have questions, try to guide me and so on. Last time around, we had this kind of mentorship sessions, which has been very, 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 very impactful as well. And I remember my facilitator asked me, Bashir, I saw your mentorship session, but it was really, really amazing. You guys was really talking, like you were having an interactive session. It was really, really insightful. And I ended up, watching all your mentorship session. It was really amazing. Try to follow up like that. I think you are going to be making an impact in your community. As you know, today it will be the same thing, but I had some questions that will directly fall into my missions, and I would like to have your insights on that, your perspectives on those questions, in order to guide me through my pathway, in order to guide me through my mission that I would like to establish and implement into my community, in order to impact the life of millions of populations in the Republic of Guinea. Firstly, I would like to appreciate your time. I know that you are really busy, but you made a mind to have this time with me in order to interact, in order to share your point of view about my missions, about the agricultural sector in Africa at the large scale. And my first questions will go this way. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, please go.
As you know, last time we were discussing about my missions, which is specifically about the local rice in the Republic of Guinea, specifically barabara rice, which we call in English the parboiled rice. As you know that in my country, in order to have the parboiled rice, which is called barabara, the parboil the paddy rice to make the parboiled rice, which is called barabara. So that process is very, 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 very rudimental. It's not the farmers do not have the most needed technologies in order to parboil the rice, and they usually cut trees to parboil that rice, which really affects the community. As a result, I made in mind to come up with an innovative solution, which is to bring like a solar-powered parboil rice machine, whereby the farmers will be able to parboil their rice through that machines in that specific community in the Republic of Guinea. So I would like to know more about your perspectives on that solutions. Will it be more efficient? How will be the impact of that machines once it's operated into that community?
Well, Mohammed, that initiative is nice. That initiative is worthwhile, and that initiative aligns with what I have been speaking, in the media, and I'm sure you have listened to one of my clips where I was, promoting technology in agriculture, which has come in to change the game. It has become a game changer in the space of agriculture. And of course, we know that the agriculture sector is comprised of crops, livestock, forestry, and fisheries. And within that space, over time, and we have not yet, we as in Africa has not enjoyed technology. Technology has not, actually, entrenched into most of the African communities. So, and we know that this has played out in the food supply chain from the hands of the producers. And of course, the producers are the farmers who are majorly smallholders based. And of course, we know that the smallholder farmers are, they have little or no resources to drive transformation. And is it to get agricultural credits or to, produce for the, efficiently and effectively, or even essentially for the market. They are not commercial farmers, so they are still smallholder based, and some of them wish to scale up. So, and of course, most of the governments are not even encouraging the farmers sufficiently in their production. And now we are talking about rice, which is very important staple crop. And of course, it's one of the major, when you mention three crops in the whole of Africa, rice is one of them. Yeah, of course, we know rice comes and after cassava, whether it's after cassava or before cassava, and also maize. So virtually all the 54 countries of Africa has, produces rice, and not just produces rice, consumes rice. Though we know that there are some countries in Africa that, excel more than the others with respect to rice. So technology is very important in rice production. And that variety of rice is what I can tell you that it's, if you invest in it, it's not a bad idea. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's not a bad idea because, of course, we know that food, there are many communities that are still food insecure. And and we know that, I understand that in West Africa, which has at least one variation of, rice variety, and it both divides and unites that region. I'm sure you know the ECOWAS region, and with its delicacy, when it is prepared, most times people want to eat jollof rice, I know. So I'm sure that variety of rice, can do well as, can also be used in preparing that type of menu or delicacy. So, we have Africa's rice. Africa's rice is, its scientific name is O. glaberrima. That's Oryza glaberrima, which is unique to Africa and is also an integral part of our culture, like I have already mentioned, and strategic commodity for food security. That rice is predominantly dietary energy source in West Africa and even towards the Southern African region, and is the second most important source of calories in Africa. Yeah, so every moves to incorporate technology is and bring in that idea. It's not a bad one.
Wow! This is very, very insightful. And I have been not writing down some of the headlines of your speech about my missions, and you touch on the technologies, you touch on the strong potential into the rice operations in Africa, and how predominant the rice is in Africa, and how we should develop it, and while the government is supposed also to support the farmers as well in order to improve the rice in Africa. And you also mentioned some of the food varieties in Africa, such as jollof rice. I know that I really love jollof rice, by the way, and I know Nigerian people love jollof. We have like, how often do you eat jollof rice, by the way?
I eat it so often. I ate yesterday. I ate two days ago. So it's really, really something that I like, because one thing about jollof rice is that you mix up a lot of things in it, and that also can make it balanced, especially if you can identify every aspect of it, every element: protein, what do you call it again? Protein, carbohydrates, vitamins, and mineral salts. And I always encourage people who want to eat it to add a lot of vegetables to it. And, like cabbages, carrots, spinach. Oh, spinach. Yeah, if you can put lettuce and some of those even green leafy vegetables, you don't need to heat it up and kill off the vitamins. Just a little bit of steam can help out. And just like in right now, there are all those mixtures can be purchased from this, maybe from the supermarkets, from any place of from any market, and then you can even refrigerate it and use it, as delicacy, because that will will ensure for nutritional security. So we are not just talking about food security, we are also adding up to say nutritional security, because everyone has its own nutritional requirements. So that's why it becomes more interesting for my very self to go for jollof rice anytime, any day.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, Dr. Ikeshi.
You're welcome.
As we are moving forward, last time around we had this kind of mentorship sessions about the same topic, the same mission that we are talking about currently. And, when you want to make an impact in your community, about like some of the project that you would like to develop into your community, it's very important and crucial that you work with a team. You work with a team in order to have a critical thinking about what you would like to develop. Maybe you might have something that will not necessarily be implemented in the field, and if there's someone into your team, he will help you to implement that efficiently and effectively, as we are doing currently, getting more about your perspective into this, into my missions, in order to scale up my missions effectively and efficiently. And I would like to precise something that, as I said to you, that we have developed a 3D prototype of that parable rice machines, and we have been doing so many interviews with different investors and so on. But the problem is that what we are currently facing is that when we usually have like a meeting with investors with my team, they usually say that they want to have an equity into the investment. They want to, like, if they want to invest, they want to get something back. And we don't want to take that risk. And we have been usually, rejecting all those offers. And I said, how am I going to have those investments? What do you think about that? Am I supposed to accept? Am I supposed to take risk? Because I found that it's very, very critical for African youth to have like those funds in order to scale up their project. It's very, very hard. What do you think about that?
Yes, thank you for that very brilliant question, or important question. Can I say that equity is important because it provides a good overview of the health of a company, and of course that's also can be a source of fund generation or investment other partners in actualizing the mission. So it's not a bad idea, but it can be bad if there is no good plan for income generation.
And that's the serious problem, because it's so difficult for an early stage startup take that risk, equity, because we did not make any revenue, and we just have like an idea, and giving us money like that, it's somewhat complicated. That's why we don't really do that. You get?
Absolutely. It's there is no game, gainsaying, or this is standard, because we, like I said, we have to weigh it here and also weigh it there, and then we will be assured that no one is cheated because, equity is very important because it represents value. It represents value. I'm telling you, equity is also important because, of course, we know that is the total investment owners which have made, like I said, in a business plus profits, and since the farm or firm or establishment or enterprise began operations. And so that is just that.
Okay, and I think moving forward, there's one guy in your country who's very famous, who has been investing in different sectors in Nigeria. His name's Ali Dangote. As you know him, he has invested into the rice as well. Can you tell me a lot more about his business model and how it makes him successful in all the things that he usually scale up in Nigeria?
Well, first of all, his name is Aliko Dangote, and he's regarded as Africa's richest man some years ago, and he's very wealthy man, and he had plans, and I know he invested in that plan, investing about 1 billion USD in commercial rice farming and modern integrated farm mills in Nigeria. So you can imagine. So he's the chief executive, he's the owner, the founder, the brain behind the Dangote Group. And like I said, he is, the controller. He controlled Africa's richest rice mills. And he planned also some years back to launch a rice mill with a farm scheme in Nigeria, to tap into that. So he also had an initiative, which is quite interesting. His initiative was the Dangote Youth Rice Farm Project, which was mainly an outgrower scheme for youths. And of course, that flagged up at the lower Niger River Basin Authority in one of those regions in Nigeria. And of course, that's where the youth have embarked on rice cultivation, over 100 hectares of land. And of course, you know why he did that? He did that because the youths are very important in transforming an economy. They are very important part of any population, the youths. And of course, the women as well. But the youths are becoming more important. And that's even, that also spurred me, that also inspired me to advocate for the brain re-engineering concept and reimagination, which I am the advocate of that concept. And of course, it's a strategy for building up the entrepreneurial capacity and also for youth engagement in agriculture. So this is just a bit of Dangote. And does Dangote import rice? Like statistics has it that Aliko Dangote could be the world's biggest rice exporter in the next 5 years. I'm telling you, and this is according to the head of the the president of AFDB, African Development Bank. He knows these things, and of course, everyone knows that he is he's not just doing on rice. He's doing a lot with within the space of essential commodities, essential goods. Yeah, and he has been the richest man in Africa for 10 years in a row, and with a net worth of around 13 billion USD. So his fortune is primarily built from his company, which is originally Dangote Cement. Although he started his business empire by selling commodities such as sugar, salt, agriculture is the primary sector. Agriculture is a real sector, and agriculture is the traditional sector. Every other sector depends on the agriculture sector. And of course, you can see that, that the subsidiary of this great man has cut across cement production. It has also cut across sugar refinery. Yeah. And just a little bit about his training. Yeah, he trained in Egypt. And of course, he has a degree in business studies. And he is the biggest conglomerate in the whole of West Africa. I'm telling you.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
I think he is really an icon to reckon with. And sometimes I know that man is making Nigeria proud. Just he's not even he's up to 60 years now, I think so. He should be up to 60 years. And he was born in Kano State into a wealthy family. And I know he was trading. He had started, trading since 1977. So it's been really a while. So he started early. And then he received about 500,000 Naira loan from his uncle, who was trading in commodities, including bagged cement, as well as agricultural goods like rice and sugar. So, but in the 1990s now, he approached the Central Bank of Nigeria with the idea that it would be cheaper for the bank to allow his company to, scale up more and diversify into other areas. And that's where we are. So with respect to wealth, like I said, he's an icon. And it's really amazing to read out some of his achievements and awards. So he was awarded Nigeria's second highest honor. That is the Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger by the former President Goodluck Jonathan. And of course, Dangote was named as the Forbes Africa Person of the Year in 2014. And he sits on the board of the Corporate Council on Africa and is a member of the steering committee of the United Nations Secretary General's Global Education First Initiative, and also even in the Clinton Global Initiative and the International Business Council of the World Economic Forum. So he was named as co-chair of the U.S. Africa Business Center. You can find some of these points I'm talking about on his Wikipedia page. So it's not hidden. He's well known, and He's even celebrated within the diaspora space. So he's a good example of a man of capacity who is driving transformation in the world.
Wow, he's driving transformations in the world. Wow. Wow, he's driving transformation in the world.
Yeah.
That's very, last time we were talking and you mentioned something very, 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 very insightful. And I even thought about that, several times. And you said that agriculture is the world at its own. What do you mean by that?
Oh, wow. Yeah, agriculture is a world of its own.
Yeah.
What I mean by that, sorry, let me put on I need to plug my system before it goes off. Yeah. What I mean is that agriculture is basically comprised of crops, livestock, forestry, and fisheries. And of course, when you look at the world is actually the earth, made up of lots of continents. I didn't read it from anywhere. I just, conceptualized it. Like somebody was telling me last week that he discovered that I am more in conceptualizing. I said, yes, that is what I have come to realize about myself, that I conceptualize a lot. So I conceptualize that within the world of agriculture, you can get the crop continent, you can get the livestock continent, you can get the fisheries continent, you can get the forestry continent.
Wow.
And then you can also get another continent, which is developing, which is like a neonate, but, getting strength, one thing I will tell you about agriculture is that agriculture is a foundational discipline. It's a foundational discipline because every other sector dependent, like I normally say, is a primary sector. And when I talked about neonates, what is a neonate? A neonate, or who is a neonate? What is a neonate? Neonate is, a noun word which means a newborn. So some persons, agriculture is still a newborn child or infant for them. Like while I was growing up, agriculture was a neonate to me. Yeah, so I was trying to talk about technology in agriculture as the emerging continent in the agriculture world. And that's where, technology, computer applications, data mining, and all of that, GIS, GPS, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and all of that. And now we have moved from first industrial revolution to the fourth industrial revolution. That is where we are. And the fourth industrial revolution, which of course is is the phase of digitization within the manufacturing sector, driven by what? Driven by the cyber systems, driven by trends, some trends, connectivity trends, human machine interaction, and improvements in robotics. So, and now within the agriculture space, these aspects must not be left out in the world of agriculture. And permit me to talk about the brain re-engineering concept because, it's still work in progress. And I am really praying hard about this concept because it's a concept that I see that has a lot of potentialities. It has a potentiality to for the actualization of the Sustainable Development Goals agenda of the UN. And of course, we know that
By 2050 or thereabout, the demand for food will begin to surge by 70%, which aligns with rapid population growth. Some researchers indicated from their findings that about 9.9% of global population still goes hungry. So the thought of feeding almost 10 billion persons is still anticipated as daunting. That is difficult. That is a challenge. So, and we know that there is environmental challenges and environmental issues, which of course are hard to predict. So, and we must turn to innovation in agriculture, and that is where technology is. So, and the whole idea of brain re-engineering is to rebrand agriculture. When you look at my first concept document on brain re-engineering, you will see that it shows the skull of human. And that skull is like, like a lot of things has to happen, developing more leaders. So, and the main focus of transformational leadership centers on supporting each other. And also organization as they grow. So, and agriculture needs a lot of support. And I am saying all of these, not just here, I am also saying it as a warning to African governments who are still paying lip service. The time has come that we support our smallholder farmers, support our smallholder farmers to start scaling up fast.
If you enjoy,
let them reach up to 50% and I will be happy. And not 70% or 60%. Let them move to 30% now so that we can have more farmers who are large-scale farmers. And of course, one good thing about agriculture is that it's a great employer of labor. Agriculture, the importance cannot be overemphasized. Of course, you know the raw materials for industry. And then, of course, food security, and then even the foreign exchange earnings. Now that we are in the trade space, the free trade area agreements of the African Union is also a very good
wow. Thank you so much.
Which brings about the end of the whole agriculture value chain, and for us to trade, international trade, all the what do you call it again? Bilateral, multilateral agreements and processes that encourage for more effective and efficient trade.
thank you very much.
Now it's not just two countries. It's not unilateral, as it were, but now multilateral, where which encourages the intra-Africa trade. And that is not just saying that we will just trade alone. We will also try to export, not just export our agricultural products. We should also export our products that are finished, that have been processed here in Africa, so that we can make all the gains, so that we can make all the profits, so that we can generate a lot of foreign exchange for ourselves, for our farmers who are, and moving forward, and that will make Africa a better place.
Thank you so much. Agriculture is the key. Agriculture is the key, and agriculture needs a lot of support through all the parties, whilst supporting our smallholder farmers to scale up their project efficiently and effectively. Agriculture is the key again. That's a very, very important. And you also mentioned how powerful leadership is in terms of agriculture sectors, and to adopt the transformational leadership, which is a leadership that will support each other's, since agriculture needs a lot of support. Thank you so much, Dr. Ikeshi. And one of my questions will be that what are some of the pointers or some of the index as you think about implementing my missions in this field? What do you think? What are some of the factors that I can consider while implementing my missions in Guinea? What do you think? Just your perspectives on that.
Your indices or indexes for actualizing. Of course, you cannot achieve anything without hard work. And the meaning of index, I'm sure you know the meaning of index. Index, as it were, is like a measure of something. So when you are with your mission, you have to measure. First of all, look into your life. What are you doing? Are you working hard enough? Then what do I mean by working hard? Within the space of agriculture, how are you teaming up with other people to work? Are you within the the little space where you are, maybe your leadership plan? How are you driving initiatives with them? So that is where hard work comes in. It's very important to work hard. It's very important to be disciplined, because when you are working hard, discipline must come in, is one of the factors. As a leader, because what the indices touches on the qualities of a good leader. That is just it. That is the whole of the indices. I'm telling you. How sincere are you? First of all, willingness. You must be willing to learn. You are not just there to pioneer or lead. You also have to, I learn every day. I learn from you. After all, yesterday, when you called me, you reminded me about, my French. I told you from now on, you have become my French lexicon. That is, you will be the one who will be unlocking some of the French words to me. You are now becoming my dictionary for French. So, because of course that also can be translational. You can help me in translating, because of course I speak English, I speak Igbo as well, and I speak a little bit of Kosa. That is Kosa in South Africa, because I live there. And now French, I want to learn. So the willingness is there. So most of people that are successful that I have known are people who do more of listening than talking.
Wow.
We are tired of talkatives. We are tired of talk. I will do this, I will do it. And I can tell you that most of the things I have said, out of talking too much, I have lost them, opportunities. Most of them. So, and we must know that we should not talk, but we should do. So it's very important. So willingness, listening and being willing, and doing, of course, which touches on diligence or hard work, and also discipline. Perseverance. Perseverance is very, especially within the agriculture space, you need to persevere. What will you tell your colleagues or your counterparts who have graduated from school? Now you are graduating and you are looking for employment, and you are posted to a farm where you have to wait for crops to grow. There's a waiting period, but other people are just doing fast. They want fast money, but other people are waiting. I have a friend, we grew up together, and as a matter of fact, he's based in Canada right now. He had lived in the UK. And at the moment, he left his family and came back to Africa to do what? To cultivate land, because he saw a need within the trade space. There is so much need. The demand for agricultural commodities getting high by day. So he had that vision. He had that vision so much. So he had cultivated a lot of that. And his crops, there are takers, those who will buy them immediately. So, and that is a very big, that is $1 billion company. Just like the African Development Bank president said, that agriculture is becoming a $3 billion company. So, perseverance, honesty. How are we honest? Are we honest enough? Are we sincere to say that 1 + 1 is 2? Or are we saying that 1 + 1 is 100? We need to be selfless. Being selfless. Yes, so that is, some of those aspects of goodness. Now, also trust. People should be able to trust you, because you will be collaborating with people. You just mentioned about teamwork. It's very important to collaborate. It's very important to trust. It's very important to have integrity. Integrity is just the right word. Leaders must push for integrity. And what makes up someone of integrity? Leadership is all about collaboration and inspiring others to do their best. So for people who have integrity, they inspire a lot. Some people feel that they have integrity. Some people are self-righteous. That is, they feel that they are righteous all the time when others are not. That type of mindset is not really good, because we are all humans and we must accommodate each other. So within that, in this space of agriculture, where now it's not just a national thing, it's becoming a global thing. So you must emerge as a global leader for people who are within the agriculture space. If they must drive transformation, and they must know the keys of leadership. Communication is very important. You need to communicate. You need to be able to communicate with others. That is to relate. You need to know yourself. You need to be diplomatic. You need to seek feedback from farmers. You need to know people. You need to, you need to get to meet people, go and feel the farmers, what they are passing through, understand where they are going, and then you'll be able to recommend policies for them. Sometimes it gets difficult to do some of these things because it can be very discouraging. I'm telling you, it can be very discouraging at times, but you don't have to take no for an answer. I can share personal experiences here, but I choose not to. But I have a lot of experiences with farms. I have a lot of experiences with organizations. Some of them, they are too quick to judge. So how do you now, once you all have, plan out strategies on how to do things, you have to relate it to them. Let them understand. Peradventure, you are posted to a facility to drive transformation there. And some persons who interact with you have known what you can bring in. But the means of communication is not effective enough. Then you have to understand the type of, the way that they will understand. And then you can start deploying those strategies. You can start, bringing in some of those, points.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I think these points are very important because I have some of my friends. I have some of my friends here who have the same with whom I share the same mission.
This profession of this agriculture space makes you to become more like a missionary. So most times I operate with a missionary type of mandate, and it has helped me. It has helped me to navigate. It has helped me to connect. It has helped me to network. So, and it's, of course, the social media is there. You know that social media is very powerful. Through social media, I connected to my mentors. One of my mentors is an American. He visited me in Baltimore when I went to Baltimore in 2018. And he was the one who took me to the White House for the very first time. And he worked in the United States Department of Agriculture. How did I meet him? Well, that's a long story, but I met him for the very first time in 2018. Meanwhile, he said he will sponsor me to attend the conference in 2013, 5 years before I met him. So he had already invested in me. He paid for my conference, because of course there are funding solutions for some. Then I was still trying to finish up with my PhD, but he just came, like the way he manifested, and he was able to pay for the conference. I attended in Melaka in Malaysia. Melaka is not too far from Singapore. Now, that's, by the way, that Professor Obi, who also I hadn't met. I had networked with him, but he's very good academic. He's very, very brilliant. He actually studied in the same university that I grew up. And I never knew him. Of course, I think he graduated that year I was born or something like that. But we got on, but he actually was the one who appeared like an angel and funded that trip to Malaysia. Someone I never asked him to help me, but he just came out and said, "Oh, I saw you have applied for this." And I was shocked when the flight ticket was sent. And I was like, wow. So when I was in Malaysia, I began to see those oil palm trees. I began to see Africa in Asia. Wow. And I came back, and while I was building capacity with my students at the River State University, because I was exposed early in the academia, and my master students then, they heard a lot of my stories, and they became suddenly passionate about agriculture. And then I did a lot with today. At least one of them I know is a PhD holder now, and we had done something on Nigeria and Malaysia, and it was from that experience, and it's online. You can find it online. It was a contribution, comparative study between the percentage contribution of Nigeria and Malaysia, their agriculture sector contributions. Yeah, so and these are the things that open some doors when you are just trying to. There was a time that my thread was buried in books. I kept reading, I kept studying, I kept meeting people, I kept, and my eldest brother gave me an advice also, because, in a multitude of good counselors, let me use that, in a multitude of good counselors, there is safety. Now, I had my eldest brother, biological, he told me, go and beef up your LinkedIn profile. And I said, okay, I will do that. And I did that. And of course, all I did there is not false. It's just about me, about my experiences in life, my educational, within my career space, and I am there. A lot of people are contacting me. Please write reference for me, do this, do that, and it's really been amazing. And I suddenly became very much aware that I am needed in many African countries, my time. So, and that is we are working. As it was like that, even in Asia, in India, I traveled to India as well. I traveled to the US again and again and again. And so these experiences has really, it's very important. And most times, don't be too certain about where you are going to. Always be open-minded. Open-minded and be intentional. Be passionate. Be solid. Sometimes you'll be firm, and sometimes you just allow it to go. But at the end, of course, the end justifies the means. So thank you very much for the session. I
would like you to give your final remark about our mentorship session.
Which remark again would you want me to give outside of all I have said?
I know, man. I know that you have a lot more to say. I know that you have you are a box that is full of so many things. Even you open and you power, you are going to get so many things inside again. So, like, having a final remarks from you about a youth who would like to move forward, because I know so many youth today, they have an amazing potential, talent, but at the end of the day, you will hear that they have not been successful because they don't have someone behind them to push them forward, to guide them through so many things. I would like you to give me some advices as your last remark.
Yeah, the pieces of what you are saying is very true.
Yeah,
what you are saying is basically true, because I am very much interested in the youth ministry. All that you have said about me, I am giving credit to the Almighty God. He has been my source. He has been my source because I wouldn't want to go into that, but do you know there was a time I couldn't speak? I couldn't just speak, make a complete sentence. And some people who attended school with me, I'm sure when they remember it and see me in the social media, or in the media, they will be like, what? What's going on? Yeah, so I'm giving God all that credit. Then for the youths, the concept of, the brain reengineering concept and reimagination, it's not just for agriculture. It's for them, basically for them. Though I left it open because if the entire 17 UN SDGs, that this concept can actually actualize all those 17 SDGs. Yeah. So for the youths, they should understand that the floor is now left for them. They should come out of the closets. Let them come out of their stereotypes. Let them come out of their cultures. Let them come out of their boundaries and frontiers. Could be religion, Could be this, could be that, could be family system, could be mental issues, and of course, health issues are also can be a challenge.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, and then they should not allow discouragement. There are lots of young people who are getting depressed by day. Why will they allow depression? When there is an open field, when there is an open, when the universe is so blessed with ideas, and they found themselves like you and me in the universe, playing one transformation role or the other. So for our youths and agriculture, it's a must. It's a must because even as much as most of our youths are in one areas, maybe the medical profession, engineering profession, or oil and gas, legal profession, and all of. As a matter of fact, now most of those in the engineering profession are coming back to agriculture. Those in computer, because of the technology, which has become, that game changer technology. Yeah. So my closing remarks goes that we should promote farming as a business to attract young people and increase women's participation in agribusiness. We should brand and package agriculture for a younger audience. We should address productivity and efficiency gaps that are major barriers in young people's participation in value chains, because the value chain becomes very important now. So there is room for a lot of youths within the value chain, and what is all about value chain, where they can add value to, food or an agricultural product. Of course, if you add value to an agricultural product, it gives you food, it gives you raw, other items that you can use. Yeah, also embracing technology. I've said that before, embracing technology to drive impact and scale. And then finally, adding value to, I had said this also, I had to repeat it again, adding value to an agricultural produce. Yeah.
Thank you
have
so
to
much.
permit me now.
Thank you so much for granting me this huge opportunity. And
You're
I learned
welcome.
from you. Thank you so much, Dr. Ekeshi.
You're welcome.
If you enjoy this podcast, make sure you subscribe so you never miss any of our future episodes. Rate and review Obehi Podcast and share with your friends who might need it. I remain Obehi A14. Thank you so much for listening, and talk to you in the next episode.